welcome back to Shoot Your Shot.
Hi guys.
We are stoked that you're here again, or maybe this is your first time listening.
If it is, then welcome.
Shoot your shot.
Shoot your shot.
Today's topic is something that we hope is going to help everyone. We want to discuss the mistakes we first made when we started in our creative journeys.
Yes.
As content creator, photographer, director, videographer, social media marketer, all of that good stuff. We both made a lot of mistakes, as does everyone when they begin
Yeah, and we still make mistakes.
Oh, yeah, for
yeah.
sure.
So I don't want this to be like we are now perfect, but we still make mistakes. At least
Yeah.
I do all the time.
Yeah, same. But there are some things that now looking back, we're like, oh, that could have been easily avoidable. So we want to use this episode as a means of helping anyone who's beginning, or even just reminding people who've been at it for a long time that there are certain things that can be really helpful in this industry.
And it's also too, just even if you have been like in this industry for a while, it's always just good in general to be reminded of things. Like, I don't know, sometimes even the stuff that we're probably going to talk about, I still mess up on. And so like, it's good to hear somebody else say like, oh, I mess up on that too. And I'm like, oh yeah, I should probably fix that.
Exactly. So with that being said, let's
jump
right
into it.
First things first, for me, the biggest mistake I made early on in my career was not utilizing contracts.
Yes.
And this took me over so many times, especially in the first like year and a half, 2 years. I just didn't prioritize that. I didn't really like think it was that necessary if it wasn't for a big project, but like ironically enough, it's the small projects that need the contract more than the big ones. The
honestly,
big brands don't usually screw you over.
Yeah.
It's always the small people.
Literally.
So ironic, because it's like another small business to a small business and they treat you
I know,
worse.
you think that's actually a good point.
Yeah.
You think they wouldn't, but same. I've had experience with that where like the smaller gigs, like they fuck you over.
Yeah.
Like I'm just gonna like be real. They literally fuck you over.
Yeah, I kind of have a funny story. I actually made a TikTok about this and it blew up.
Really?
Yeah. So
wait, was it about your flash?
No.
I'm just kidding.
No, that did not blow up.
Triggered.
No, so I was hired by this lady to shoot her candle brand.
Okay.
And we set up, it was like a little small business that she was just starting and we wanted to do like e-com pictures. So we set up a shoot. And she like texted me or emailed me or however way she communicated with me. She let me know like a couple days before the shoot that she was canceling because she was really overwhelmed and she wanted to move the shoot. So I was like, okay, yeah, like no worries. Let's move it to this date. And so we moved it to the date, and then the day before that date, she canceled again.
Oh.
And this just kept happening like 4 or 5 times. Like she would just cancel the day before each shoot. So after this happened, like this was like, you know, a month and a half.
Of just prolonging
canceling.
and procrastinating it.
I finally told her, I was like, hey, because every time she would book me for a date, I would like say no to other clients. I would just like cover that whole day with like her project. And then I was starting to like screw myself over because I was no longer available for other jobs that I had booked during her time.
Why did she? Wait, why did? Do you know why?
Weird excuses. It was like, oh, I'm overwhelmed. I'm anxious. Like, I just don't know. Like, I don't feel ready for this. And I would just be like, okay, let's book it next week so you're prepared. Let's do the week after. And it just kept going over and over. So finally, after like the 4th or 5th time, I told her, I was like, hey, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think I'm the right person to work with. Like, you canceled on me 5 times and, you know, there's initially like a deposit that you paid and that's to cover if you cancel one time.
Yeah.
At this point, like, I'm just not gonna like this. We just can't keep doing this. You've been doing this to me for almost 2 months.
And what did she say?
She got so angry. She asked me to reimburse her the deposit, and I was like, "But that's the whole point of a deposit. First of all, it says non-refundable on my packaging that I sent you, and then B, I was like, that's the whole point is so that like if you cancel and I just booked my entire day, for
like
you,
you're still at least covered financially.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so she freaked out. She accused me of like stealing money from her, and that I was. My integrity wasn't there and that I was like a terrible person. And at the time, and this is also a good tip, at the time I was receiving payments on PayPal, which you should never do as a creative because PayPal will always side with the person paying, not the person being paid. So she wrote to PayPal
and there's always like fees too.
She opened like a not a lawsuit, but like a
claim or something with PayPal.
She opened a claim up. And PayPal took my money away and gave it back to her, even though it was her fault. And it can also block your PayPal account if that happens too many times. It didn't block my account, but basically she took all the money back from me and she like blocked me on everything.
Oh my God.
She was just like horrible. She was just like an awful person. And all of that could have been avoided had there been a contract.
Yeah.
There was no contract, and that was a big learning lesson for me because I was like, okay,
wow,
I need to protect myself and my business first and foremost. And that lady was a great lesson.
I think also with that, like to kind of like follow up on that in the contract, not only obviously like you want to negotiate payment and stuff like that, but having your scope of work outlined too.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I know for me, we have had a lot of issues where we will do either, well, not anymore, but like before, we would do a lot more work than what we said we would because either we're in the moment, the client asked, and like we can't really say no because we're already there and there's no contract, or a situation has happened where we actually weren't able to go and do the shoot ourselves. So we had our friend, like we kind of hired our friend to go do it for us. And literally as he was on the way to the shoot, they sent me a message and changed the entire scope of work. And we weren't getting paid nearly enough for that, but he was already basically like he just showed up already.
Yeah.
So I would say on top of that, like add your scope of work in the contract.
Like job expectations.
Yeah.
Outlined very clearly on like what the deliverables are,
Yes.
what you're doing, how long, how it's going to be done. You just want to get as detailed as possible, and that will help first of all streamline the shoot for you so you feel confident going into exactly what you're going to do. The client knows exactly what's going to happen, and if there's anything that changes, there needs to be a conversation previous to the shoot because it's written in your contract. And
exactly.
you have to, like, rewrite the contract, and so a client isn't going to like go through the hassle of doing that.
Especially in I mean also this is in the photo world too, but I know especially in the video world because I've like done both photo and video. When there are revisions from a client, because like what we'll often do is put like 2 rounds of revisions now in our contract. So like we send them the draft, they'll make notes, send it back.
That's a good idea.
But what has happened before, and this still happens, but what happened before we really like set that expectation is they would want like so many rounds of revisions. And like I get it, like people are picky, like they want it to be perfect, but that takes so much time.
Yeah, it's just not fair because at the end of the day, if you're having your creator restart from scratch for every revision, I mean that's taking like days.
Yeah, exactly.
Other work, and that can severely screw you over if you have a ton of like jobs that week.
Especially when they're like doing it in a very demanding way.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, well, here's all my revisions after you already set the expectation that you would do 2 revisions. And they're like, okay, well, can you just do this really quick? Like really quick. We want to put it out this week. It's like, then you're rushed. You have to put off other work. It's just a whole shit show.
Yeah, exactly.
So especially in the video world, I recommend adding the number of rounds of revisions you will give, because I promise you, no matter who the client is, even if they're the nicest person in the world, people are picky and they will want stuff beyond those 2 revisions most likely.
100%. That's a great tip.
Yeah.
Include your revisions. I think also in your contract, and I do this, I include extra charges. So for example, if they later want to buy the raws, or they want to add like 5 more edits, or they want to do like a media usage buyout or something like that.
That's good.
I include all of that in the contract, even if we haven't talked about it. That way, if later on they're like, hey, actually we decided we want to buy the raws from you, there's no negotiation. It's in the contract. The contract says it's $1,000 for the raws, whatever
That's
it is.
good. That's really good.
Included. And that way also, when they're going over the contract and they see, oh, it's $80 per extra edited image, later on they can be like, oh, she edited 30, but we really liked 50. Now we know it's going to cost X amount of money to get 20 extra edits. And
that's a really good point.
Written out in the contract, and it's just an extra charge. That way there's super clear, transparent communication with the client. So include as much as you can in your contract. It will save your butt, like every time.
I worked with a hotel and I gave them like some really good content, and one of them was a drone, like a really nice drone photo. And then later on I realized that drone photo was used in like a really big article, like on a really big travel website, and I had no idea that they were going to use it. I was super excited, but I definitely could have got paid for that because it was a really big site and the hotel has a lot of money. And I just didn't, and there was nothing I could do about it. So
that's why you should include specifically like let's say it's images to be used on online marketing, including website use, social media, blah blah blah. And then if you want to detail that there's extras they can pay for,
exactly,
things that are outside of their own personal website, you can detail that so that they see that they have to pay for the extra use.
Exactly.
Or you can just include it in an all online marketing, which is usually what I do.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's just another good thing to add to your contract. Okay, another thing that I think I still struggle with, but this has screwed me over. It literally screwed me over yesterday.
Really?
Yes. Okay, so not responding to inquiries or client emails quickly. So many times I get emails and like I'm, in the middle of a shoot or I'm like editing or whatever. I'm just not prioritizing my emails or my DMs or something. And it just gets put off to like the end of the day or it gets put off to the next day. I'll lose a job.
Like, that is true.
Someone reached out and wanted me to do a shoot and they emailed me in the morning at like 10 a.m. And by the time I got to it, it was like 7 p.m. And they're like, oh, sorry, I already booked with another photographer.
Which is crazy.
I was like, whoa, that was so fast. But it makes sense. It's like, there is a sense of competition in this industry.
Yeah, and urgency.
Saturated. There is urgency. In some projects, they just need to know right now who's going to be shooting it. Because it's a last-minute project, last-minute campaign, whatever it is. And so the quicker you can reply to inquiries, to emails, to DMs, the better for your business. The quicker you can do anything. I saw an insanely good Instagram post yesterday that said people will pay for expediting anything. For example, on Amazon, you pay for Amazon Prime so you can get your product faster.
That's good.
Expedited shipping at UPS so you can get your product, you can get your item faster. People who are buying content want their stuff faster. So
they just want it in that moment.
Why not send them the edit 4 days early? Why not send them the email back 4 hours early? The quicker you can get to stuff, the quicker people will come back to you for more later.
Which on that note, I actually am a really big, like, I really make sure I do this when I'm working with a client. If it's video, it's a little bit different, but for photos specifically, like this might sound crazy to some people, but I'm really big on same day edits. So like,
Claire's can't relate.
I know. I mean, I try to stick to it as much as I can, but for example, especially if I'm shooting like an event, like we had a job in New York this last summer, because it's now probably summer. I don't know. Last summer we had a job
because it's now probably summer.
Yeah.
A month.
I mean, it's almost summer. So like, I don't know.
It's probably summer. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what today is. Maybe it's summer.
Guys, I'm like not doing well today. I didn't eat and I'm like,
The brain space is lacking today.
Yes, so then we should start making that a thing. Georgia's brain space is not doing well today. I did not eat.
Is full.
Yes. But no, to that note, when we did an event in New York, part of like why the company really liked it or liked us working with them is because I would turn around those edits like day of, so they could literally be like in real time posting at that event. Now, event's a little bit different because you kind of do have to be like in real time, but just in general, if you can, again, I know it's probably psychotic a little, but if you can do like same day edits or at least within like a week turnaround, like if I give anybody something like past a week, like there's something wrong with me. Like
damn.
I know that sounds crazy, but like for me, I'd rather just like focus on it, get it done, like push through, like pull the all-nighter, take 3 days off my life like we talked about, and just give it to them.
Nope, don't listen to her.
So they at least have something to start looking at, so then I know like they're happy.
You can give a preview. Like, you give them like 10 images versus like the 50 up front, so they have something to go off
Yeah,
of.
no, I do that too.
I don't do that. I don't do that at all. I'm very OCD with my editing, and I take massive pride, and I'm just such
you're really good.
You
have
artist. I'm just like, I have to take my time and like
no, but that's and, good. That's like what art is.
So I don't do that. But what I do is I set the expectation really low. I'll tell them I'll give you photos between 3 and 4 weeks.
Oh my God, you're crazy. I'm like, that's crazy to me.
You're not listening.
For a video, I'm like, okay.
No. She's not listening to me.
Okay, I'm listening.
I tell them I'm gonna give them the photos within 3 and 4 weeks, and then I give it to them within like 10 days. That way they're like, oh my God, they can see them so fast.
What is that? Over deliver, under, what is it? Over promise?
Under promise,
over deliver.
Yeah, that's what I do. I tell people I'm going to take like a month to get back to them, and then I give them to them in 10 days, and then they're like mind blown.
So basically you're a tease.
Well, it's a good business strategy.
I'm just kidding.
It's a good ploy, in my opinion. And then also on that note, what I will also do, which I mean, this is not really exactly the same thing, but I'll usually over deliver a little bit. Like I always go.
Oh yeah, I do that
more
too.
Than what they paid for, just that way. Like
it's like it's like adding like sprinkles to a cake.
Yeah.
It's like, ooh, like this is colorful and fun. I have a couple more things to work with to eat.
Yeah.
Claire's like, no.
Sure, I love the analogy. But yeah, like if if they bought like 30 30 reels. That's freaking crazy.
Oh my God.
5 reels
Like,
and then you give them like 6. So they bought like 50 images and you give them 60. Like,
yeah.
I always over deliver just a little bit. That way they're like, oh wow, like we really got our money's worth. And in case there's ever something they don't like, which is rare, I feel like, because for me, I have people who usually pick what they want me to edit.
Yeah.
That way they never get stuff they don't want. But like, let's say there's 2 images they don't like.
Yeah.
That's like, they have more. They can't even complain. It's like, well, there's 2 I don't like, but she gave me 10 extra.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
So it's just a way of like making your business extra, I don't know.
And
like,
trying to like get them to return.
And like easy for someone to come back to you.
Because you guys will be surprised. I mean, I don't know if you've had this experience, but I like being on like the more business side versus creator side of it. I have heard people say like creators just will not deliver things, or like they'll take like months and months, and that
people just ghost.
Yeah, they just ghost.
It's crazy.
But that to me, I'm always so just, I don't know, amazed by that, because I'm like, why? Like, why would you do that?
Just, like, screwing your own business.
Yeah.
Like, it just makes
And
no
it's just
sense.
like not being a good human.
And it's just terrible. Like,
Yeah.
I have heard that so many times too. People are like, I just never got the photos. And I'm like, what?
I'm like, how?
That's insane. Even if it's a collaboration, I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm the kind of person that's like, if you say you're gonna do something, do it. That's why I'm not a people pleaser at all, because I will tell you, I'm like, I can't do it. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not
She
gonna
is good at
pretend
that.
and be like, oh yeah, let me do it for you, and then I never do it because I don't have the bandwidth. I just straight up, I'm like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
That way they're not like thinking, oh, she's gonna do it, and then because I'm so busy, I never do it.
Yeah,
that
that's
makes
good.
me feel worse than like just being upfront and being like, sorry, I can't do that.
Yeah.
I just had to 2 people this week.
Well, I was gonna say you're actually good at that.
I can't. I don't want to be like, oh my gosh, yeah, like let's try to shoot before I leave, and then like it never happens.
Yeah.
It's just bullshit in my opinion.
No, that's good. I've actually been like trying to do that more, because sometimes, well, actually recently I haven't been doing that, but before I used to take on like literally whatever and just like constantly help people. And I was just talking about this last night, and it just literally was just so debilitating.
You are really good about that though. Like you help everyone. You say yes to everything.
I know.
I'm an asshole than you.
No, but like there needs to be a balance. Like there needs to be a balance between saying yes to everything and being an asshole.
I used to do that. I used to say yes to everything, and it just started making me miserable. And like I would end up having like a month of editing in front of me.
Yeah.
And then I wouldn't have time for clients because I'd be editing like friends' projects or collaborations. And I'd be like, why am I prioritizing this free stuff that like, yes, helped my friend with her cute Instagram photos, but like,
really you're
this was really not important.
Yeah.
Like, it depends. Like,
well, actually,
it's slightly different.
I would say it depends on where you're at in your journey too.
Well, and it also depends what you're shooting. Like, for example, I'm going to New Jersey next week to shoot a gala for a nonprofit. I'm doing it for free for my friend.
Oh, I think you can use my flash, by the way.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yay.
So you
Okay.
just reminded me.
But I'm doing this free event in New Jersey for my friend, but it's for an organization that I am so supportive of. It's for Down syndrome kids. And I absolutely love her, and I love her organization. And for me, like,
you told me about her.
Prioritize going to New Jersey and shooting that for free versus shooting my friend's cute Instagram booty pictures. Like, sorry, I don't have time for that. But like, this is doing good for the world. I would rather like be stressed out for 2 weeks editing pictures that I shot for free for a good cause versus like
little
my
booty
friend
pics.
wants, like, you know, cute Instagram photos or whatever. So
Yeah.
I think it also depends on like what you prioritize.
Yeah, that's good.
Anyways, that was like totally a tangent. But I have another thing which I think you have a lot of experience in this.
Okay, go ahead.
Not good at this.
Whoa.
Always some drama with the mic. Like,
She
always
always with
if
the
you guys
mic.
aren't on YouTube, I just like knocked the mic over and
I'm totally gonna make that
chaotic.
into a reel.
You should slow-mo it.
Oh, we should
Like,
make it a
going
GIF,
like,
like a meme where you're like, wah, wah.
Yeah. Okay, so the importance. This is a mistake I made. Well, actually, I didn't really make this early on. I actually did not make this mistake early on. I'm making this mistake currently.
Oh, hit me.
Not utilizing social media for marketing. Georgia is
oh my
so
God.
good at this.
No, are you kidding me?
Yeah, you are.
Oh my God.
You're so much better than I am.
Oh my God.
You like actually post on TikTok. You make funny content. I feel like you're way more on top of your social media than me.
Listen.
I like literally ghost for like 2 weeks at a time.
Listen. That is very funny you say that. Like,
Do you
because
completely disagree?
I completely disagree.
Really?
Oh my God.
Well, from the outside perspective, it looks like you're doing great.
Okay, well.
Yeah, but she hasn't got me by the throat.
Jack's in the back.
Okay, guys, just please bear with me for a minute. I don't want to sound like a bitch. I cannot explain. I'm gonna sound so hypocritical when I say this, but like I cannot explain how important it is to showcase your work on social media, especially in this day and age. And
yeah, but you do it.
No, we do not. Literally,
I feel like you do though. Every time you're shooting, you show what you're shooting. You like always make these cute little recaps on your stories, reels. I had 4 shoots this week. I have posted one of them.
Okay, but
you shoot 4 times a week. There's 4 stories about it.
I know, but I do stories. I don't do in-feed posts. Like my stories,
Still
like
better.
Okay, but also like specifically for our company, Elation, we have not posted literally anything.
Okay, that's fair, but I was talking more about like you personally.
I was gonna say I am like I can't even tell you. It is my biggest like. Ugh,
no, you
right
actually,
now.
who needs to work on that?
Jack. Literally.
Jack does not post jack shit.
That was good. No, but Jack also needs to work on editing our Elation reels. Oh shit.
Before you get couch mic, just so I come in and give
Dude.
No, literally, I cannot explain.
Like...
We are 3 years now, almost, behind on content for Elation. Do you guys know what that does to me? Like, you guys think I don't have brain space right now? I literally don't have any space. I don't even have.
Not even a hard drive.
I don't even have space in my heart right now.
Okay, that got so deep so fast.
Anyway,
like, I'm heartless and I have no joy in my life. Okay, anyways.
I keep if you're on YouTube, I keep looking at Jack because Jack is here today, and literally this is like the biggest like argument that we always have with our relationship and business too. And he's constantly like, you post way more than you think you do. And I'm like, yeah, on my personal, but not Elation. And like
that's fair. But on your personal, you do a pretty good job, I think.
I still don't think I do that good job of my personal.
I don't think you're the number 1 best poster in the world.
That's what I mean.
think you're doing good.
Okay, well, thank you.
I literally don't
feel
post.
like you post all the time.
Not my work. I post like just random stuff. I don't post my work. Yeah, the gym.
Oh yeah. Oh, I just saw your
gym influencer now.
Listen, guys, Claire's close friend story yesterday cracked me up. I forgot to tell you. Like, she were like going on a rant. She was going on like a little bit of a rant about how
none of my close friends are missing out. Yeah. All I do is rant.
She was going on a rant about like the gym and how she's still doing 75 hard and like this and that. And then she started to talk about how this guy was like making fun of her for being in
to this, to be honest.
Well, good.
No. I don't want to start drama. I don't want to start drama.
It's not drama.
I think he does listen to this.
He basically was saying, "Are you a fitness influencer now?" And she was like, "Yeah." Maybe I fucking am, so back off.
Well, to be fair, I work with LSKD, which is a fitness brand.
Dude, you're always an LSKD.
But yeah,
no, which is good. I love them.
One of my sponsored brands. So yeah. Obviously, I'm going to post them. They're a fitness brand. And now that I actually go to the gym, when is the best time to post a fitness brand? When I'm at the gym.
Yeah.
So instead of posting me just doing random stuff wearing fitness workout clothes, I'm like, oh, I'll post me actually in the gym wearing gym
Oh my
clothes.
God, I forgot to tell you something.
I get called out. I'm like, what do you want from me, bro? What do you want from me?
This is a super side tangent really quick. I'll make it quick. I had to shoot for this brand. It was like UGC content where like I was the model, but like I had to film myself.
Deodorant?
Yes, it was the deodorant. Wait, guys, Claire put me on blast because I was working with this brand. And it was just like UGC content. Like I don't have to post it. Like I just take videos of
UGC is user generated content for those who don't know.
Yes. And I just had to like use this deodorant that apparently is for people who excessively sweat a lot. I don't
it's a
sweat.
medical deodorant.
But I don't sweat a lot, but they were paying me to do it. So I was like, fuck it, let's just do it. And Claire put me on blast on her story. It was like, Georgia, do you have a problem? Anyways.
It was just lying on your coffee table and it says medical help for Amber.
It was so bad.
It was like a funny way they worded it on the box. It was excessive sweating medical antiperspirant.
And I told her,
is she okay?
And she was like, why are you doing this? She was like, they need to pay you way more to do that. And I was like, Claire, if you want me to go to Croatia this summer, I have to do this. And she was like, all right, I support. But anyways,
listen. And then she texted me and she was like, hey, can we go to the gym and can you film me throwing a deodorant in the trash can? And I was like, what is happening right now? Like, you gave me no context.
I know.
First, you were just like, I need to throw deodorant in the trash at the gym.
But anyways, really quick, I wanted to tell you this. I had to sneak into a 24-hour fitness because don't listen to 24-hour fitness. But because I was like, I don't know when she's going to the gym and I need to go get this deodorant. And I cannot tell you, I like walked in like blonde little Georgia that, I mean, I like work out, but not like
little Georgia. She's like almost 6 feet tall.
And I walked into the gym and I was like, okay, I'm just going to go in and like if I have to pay a day fee, it's fine. Or maybe I can just like type Claire's name into the thing and pretend I'm her. And I was like, I don't know what to do. And literally the guy wasn't looking because he was helping somebody with their thing. And I just like ran in and then I like ran into the locker room to pretend I was like changing. And even though I wasn't, and then I ran in and did the deodorant and I threw the trash can in or threw it in the trash can and like had to like work out with it like in my hand. And I had to like film myself doing this.
Wait, you were like in the gym working out with deodorant in your hand?
Yes.
Like where all the machines are?
Yes.
Stop. Just hold it. What were you doing? Like a dumbbell?
I'm not
Holding a
kidding.
dumbbell and the deodorant?
Kind of, yeah. I was like doing that thing where you go on the little like dumb weight bench, like lifting it up while my phone was there and doing this with the deodorant.
Wait, you were working out and putting deodorant on at the same time.
That's what they wanted.
so bizarre.
It was so I don't
people
usually
staring
get
at you?
oh my god, I don't usually get embarrassed. I was so embarrassed because all of these like little meaty men were like
meaty men?
yeah,
The little meaty men?
little meaty men. They were like, what's this blonde chick doing working out and putting deodorant on? She must have an issue. And then they would see me filming and they were like, oh god, she's one of those.
This is so LA.
It was so embarrassing. And then I literally had to fake FaceTiming Jack to get out because then the guy was telling people to scan out. And I was like, oh my God, I never scanned in.
Scan out.
Yeah. He was like, he stopped somebody and was like, oh, yo, bro, like make sure you scan out. And they scanned out.
That's not a thing.
I don't know. It was a thing in that moment.
Whoa.
And then he was like looking at me. So I had to pretend to FaceTime Jack. And I was like, oh my God, haha, what did Karen say? And I like ran out. And I was like sweating. Anyways, that's a side tangent, but that's what happened because I didn't go to the gym with you.
Doing the most to go to Croatia. I'm here for it.
I know. So you guys will probably see me in a little TikTok ad using deodorant and working out.
It goes viral and it's like the
Dude,
most watched TikTok
Every
ad.
single time I do stuff with them, it always gets so many views and people
Really?
send it to me and I'm like, oh my God, I don't even like really use this
Wait,
product.
I hope I'm their target audience. I hope I get this ad.
Oh my God, you definitely will be.
Okay, so finishing on the social media thing, I think it's just incredibly important to utilize social media to market your work. I don't do this nearly enough. I'm actually right now in my little TikTok era.
Oh, you're doing good with your TikTok.
I decided last week to actually take it seriously for this move and try to like get clients on
Well,
TikTok.
also too, because
So I'm trying every day.
you'll
but
probably end up in like the Paris niche. So if you keep pushing,
I
then
better.
you'll just show up on people's Paris TikToks.
I hope so because I don't know how or why or where, when, what, but I somehow got into the hashtag LA photographer thing. And
Really?
I get literal I get inquiries every single day from TikTok.
Wait, that's
From-
good.
in LA.
That's
It's
really
crazy.
good.
From TikTok specifically.
Wow.
They're like, and I always ask them like, how did you find me? They're like, oh, I looked up LA photographer on TikTok.
Oh.
And I must be one of the first.
Do you
videos
hashtag that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
I must be one of the first videos that pops up. So I'm like, okay, I need to get this for Paris. So I've been posting so many stupid TikToks, just trying to get into like the hashtag. It's not working out so far, but I'll keep you guys updated.
It'll work out.
But it is really important to utilize that, especially I think TikTok. TikTok is so good.
important
It's
and like
free, and like it is a little
Yeah.
time consuming, but it's so worth it.
No, it is
to
worth it.
Promote yourself. So
anytime that I use it, like I actually get like a good like it just is really good. But
Yeah.
I don't use it. I need to. That's also a thing I need to work
yeah,
on.
yeah, and your stuff is so good for TikTok. Like
Yeah, but
so well.
I
it does do well.
I lost momentum, so I think.
TikTok is hard. It gets a little like you burn out easily with TikTok. I feel.
Well, no, I like it. I just need to like remember to edit and like post because I get so caught up in like other client work that I'll forget about my own, and like I just get like whoa.
Yeah, it's a lot, but it is really good and.
It's super important, even though we sound like hypocrites because we need to do better. Like it's really important.
Like we said, we're not perfect and we're still making mistakes. But yeah, if you're not utilizing
Utilizing.
If you're not utilizing social media to market your work, get on it.
Yeah.
This is your sign.
This is your
This
sign.
is the sign. The sign says, use the social media.
Okay, the
moving
next
on.
thing is okay. I think I guess it kind of goes back into what we were talking about before, but in general, when you're working with a client, I think it's super important to make sure that you let them know they have to cover your expenses. Because that's happened with me and like
gas
us.
and stuff.
Just like gas, food, like simple things because like it adds up. And let's just say if you're doing a gig that like isn't that much money, but it's like a smaller client, but like it's $1,000 and you're like, yeah, fuck it, I'll do it. Like it's good money for whatever. And then you have to like drive, especially I'm like speaking of LA because like gas is so expensive.
Yeah.
But like this has happened to us where like we'll have to drive really far and then like we go out and like get food because we're on set, like literally breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And like for 2 people, specifically for us, that just ends up being like a couple $100s. And we're like,
it costs you a couple $100s to get food during the day?
food and gas and like expenses. Like sometimes
What are you getting, like nice ass lobster rolls? Like what are you ordering? Truffle mac and cheese?
Oh, for 2.
Like what do you mean $200?
But I'm also factoring in gas. Like it costs like $60 to fill up my car.
And then $140 to eat?
And then another $60 to fill it back up plus food.
The math is not mathing. Like, don't listen to her.
Listen, okay.
Unless you're driving to like San Francisco.
Dude, breakfast in LA for like 2 people is like $35. 40. Facts.
That's fair.
Math is mathing up now, isn't it? Lunch.
That is fair.
Like let's just say Mendocino Farms. All right, $15 each.
Mendocino.
Oh wait, what did I say?
Mendocino?
It is Mendocino.
Love Mendocino
Is it
Farms.
Mendocino?
Yeah.
Or is it No, it is Mendocino.
I've never heard Mendocino. Jordan thinks she's still in Sicily.
Mendocino.
Mendocino.
Mendocino. Yeah. But like literally if you get that 2 people, it's like what, another $30? And then let's just say dinner. Like, I mean, if I want to eat like Chick-fil-A, okay, great. It's not that much, but still Chick-fil-A is expensive for 2 people. It's like another like $20, $30.
It's still not $200.
Okay, but like 30 plus 30 plus 30 plus gas. Like think about it.
Okay.
The point is, I'm like,
Yes.
I'm like, now you're not listening to me.
I'm listening to you. No, she's right. But the thing is, see, I do it differently. I just include it in the price from the very get-go. I don't ask for it afterwards. I'll say, like, this is what it's going to cost up front for gas, or I just include it in my price. If I want to make $500 per hour, I charge $550 for gas. And I don't even say it's for gas. I just charge
I guess you could do it like that.
And then it's included, and it covers all my stuff. So that way they're not worried about... Because it is easier for the clients not to have to worry about that. So if you just include it in the get-go in your price, and only you know that it's
you could
part
do
of the
that.
pricing, it's so much better for your client to not be like, oh, and we have to pay for their food and their gas. If you just don't tell them, they don't even know they're paying for it, and they think they're not paying for it. But realistically, you add $100 per every package, or $100, $200 for the day rate, purely for your expenses.
Yeah, I mean, I think that...
Or you can write it out in like your packages.
Yeah, no, that is good. You should do that. I think I'm speaking of more of like, because we travel a lot with brands, so there's always unexpected incidentals. Mm-hmm. So like, for example, sometimes if like we need to like check another bag or something, like that could be like another like $50 that we're like, okay, like the client's gonna pay for this. Like this, and like
put that in your contract too.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Like, make sure you add expenses. That's the point of that's honestly the point of this, is make sure you add expenses so the client's responsible for them. Because again, like, I'm speaking from like more travel video experience. Like, we run into a lot of things that we don't plan for, that we have to end up doing, that we wouldn't have to do if we weren't on that shoot in that foreign country with that client. And like, that can end up adding up a lot. And we just want to make sure we get reimbursed, because otherwise it's like, we wouldn't be spending that if we weren't here working for them.
Right. And then it's like, you're not even making that much money because you're spending money. Yeah.
So I would say either, I like how Claire said what she does, like adding extra money on, so you already plan for that. But if it's something more like you can't really expect it, just add it in there, like plus expenses. So that way they just know to expect that.
Yeah, exactly. It's a really good idea. Okay, one other mistake that I think everyone gets so frustrated with this, especially people who've been in the industry for a while, is not charging your worth. And a lot of
honestly,
people
I
who are
still
just
struggle with that.
A lot of people who are just beginning struggle with this. I struggle with it massively. I think everyone does. And the sad reality of not charging your worth is that not only does it affect you not making that much money, it affects the entire industry as a whole, and lowers the standard of payment for the entire industry.
Very true.
Is kind of dramatic when you think about it that way.
No, but it is
very
true.
Real, and it affects everyone. And you'll see, if you're new and you're growing in your career, you'll notice that, like, you'll be pitching to a client and you'll send them a budget that's like a great budget, and then someone who's brand new, we'll give them like something ridiculous, like such a small budget for so much work. And obviously people are cheapos and they're usually going to go for the cheaper budget.
Yeah.
And then that just now, the standard for that type of project is now, let's say $350 when really it's worth $2,000.
Exactly.
And now this client is never going to hire anyone for $2,000 for that type of project.
Because they
like,
got it like that.
I got it for $350 and now everybody has to start charging less to get those types of clients.
Yeah, charging your worth is super important. I know we touched on this in another podcast episode too, but like if you, on top of just it completely making it difficult for other creators in the industry, but it also allows for clients to continuously take advantage of you. Because if you are seen as this person who charges not your worth, like you're just only going to get clients that only pay you that much when your work is actually worth so much more. So you're kind of like self-sabotaging in a way too.
Yeah, and it's like also affecting the rest of the industry as well.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so another one is, this is a personal one that I know I like to do beforehand, is having like I wish I would have known this before, is having like a pre-night routine before a shoot. So when I wake up, like I know I have everything ready to go. I'm not missing anything. Like the last thing in the world that I like to do is if I'm on a shoot and I realize I don't have an extra SD card, or my SD card isn't clear, or my batteries aren't charged, or I don't know, just like little things that if you do like your even like a day, like the day beforehand, just charge everything and make sure you have your bag packed already for the shoot. So when you wake up, you're not stressed, and it kind of like prevents you from, I don't know, just not having anything with you.
Yeah, 100%. Just like preparing as much as you can the day before. So
Yeah.
Like an early morning. That way you don't have to like think about it. It's already all put together.
Exactly.
You're not forgetting like an SD card or like a battery, or remembering to charge your battery
Literally.
before you go to bed. Yeah, I just feel like I just keep my batteries like constantly on rotation of charging.
Mm-hmm.
So like, at any given moment, there's always a battery charging. So I always have fully charged batteries.
Yeah,
so it's
that's
very
good.
Rare for none of them to be charged. That would be if I had like 3 shoots back to
back.
But yeah, that's a good tip. Just like making sure you have, also having like your SD cards cleared.
Yes.
And not like struggling at a shoot because you're out of storage and then you're like manually deleting.
Yeah.
photos.
Or you have to like open your laptop and plug it in, and you're just like, it just becomes overwhelming. And yeah.
Yeah, having an excess of SD cards available. And also, and like this topic, I feel like this is also part of it, is like always making sure to download all of your photos as soon as you're done with the shoot. Like,
yes.
recording your photos, don't wait like days or weeks, because like first of all, you never know what could happen to the SD card. Like what if you lose it? What if it gets stolen? Like what if it breaks? Just as soon as you're done shooting, having all your photos backed up, and just in general, it's a huge tip. Is
but like double backup almost.
Everything backed up, because I've lost multiple hard drives that have broken.
Or they corrupt.
Or multiple have like just broken, corrupted, and then I think I've probably lost like 2 years worth of photos.
Oh my God.
Yeah, like my early shoots, I don't have any of those.
That happened to me actually. My hard drive corrupted and I didn't back it up, and like basically the first like 6 months almost of me like learning how to do photography, like all of that's gone.
Same. Yeah, I lost a lot of the stuff that I first shot, which is a real bummer. I would have loved to go back and like re-edit them.
Yeah, just like to see like the before, because I know before I have like Iceland photos that I took where I was like, why would I edit it like this? It's like so orange, and like
you're in your Sam Colder era.
I was. And now I'm like, I would not edit it that way. I would like add like a much more like sleek, like sexy look to it instead of a like I'm gonna orange all of the mountains.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so just having all your stuff backed up is really important.
I think another tip would be and I struggle with this, but this is something that I've recently been trying to work on, is to not overshoot, because I have trigger finger. That's what I call it. Where
I'm trigger happy.
Yeah, where I will just, if it's for a photo shoot or a video shoot, specifically trigger finger for photos, I'll take like, I've taken like probably like 2,000 photos at one point, and I only need to give them like 10. And like that just hurts me, because one, I'll get excited about a lot of them, or two, like they only need 10 and I'm over here like sifting through 2,000 photos. Like, why did I do that?
I still do that.
I know, I was gonna say I still do it. It's something that I still have to work on. But specifically, since I've been more into the video world than photography, like I've realized that actually no, overshooting for video is kind of a good thing, because you never know what you're gonna need whenever you're editing. But for photos,
You end up with like the same photo, like 15 versions with like a slight tiny hand movement.
Yeah, and like
so unnecessary.
Yeah, I think depending on the situation, try not to overshoot. I mean, you can. It's up to you. Like it's gonna take more time, but
What's helpful is to shoot in low continuous or single shot versus high continuous. The only time I shoot in high continuous is if it's like an action shot, like someone's moving.
Yeah.
Then I need as many photos as I can of that movement because it's only gonna be like one good photo. But generally, I shoot on low continuous and single shot. Like if I know I'm gonna be shooting a lot, like sometimes I'll have clients and like they're super demanding and they just want me to shoot. And I'm like, this is so excessive. Like you're going to literally use 3 of these.
Yeah.
Like the 3,000 you just shot. So I'll purposefully put my camera on single shot so it'll take way less photos. Because I need to like click, pause.
Sneak.
Click, pause versus like low continuous. You can just hold the shutter down and just taking photos. So that's like a good way of doing it. That actually happened the other day. This girl kept being like, oh, can we just shoot this again? And I was like, we've shot this pose literally 20 times.
Was this the beach one that you did?
No. Oh. Literally, we shot the same pose, like 20 minutes. I was like, and then I would show her, she's like, oh, can we do another one? And I'd be like...
And a lot of the time, too, like...
My neck was just like...
You're like, don't, no.
Another one of what?
Because sometimes, too, I mean, this isn't really relevant to this episode, but you'll show people the photo and, like, they might hate it, but then after you edit it, they're like, oh, my God, I love it. I'm obsessed. My
gosh. I always tell people, I'm like, you're seeing this on a tiny, tiny little screen. This is not what it's going to look like on a huge screen when it's edited.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to love it. And I basically have, I mean, this is not true. At the beginning of my career, I definitely had a lot of people being like, this is not what I was looking for. But now I know what I'm doing. I rarely have someone be like, I hate all these photos. That never happens. And so I know when they're like saying out loud after shoot, like, I don't like these. I'm like, shut up. I know you're going to love them.
You're like, I know you're going to love it after edit.
Trust me. Like, that's
I do the same
annoying
thing.
Is when clients just don't trust you. And I'm like, dude, I have 8 years of experience under my belt. Let me please do what I do well so that you're happy. Because like, the more you obsess about it, the less happy you're going to be as the client. When in reality, you're going to get everything that you... I was
going to say, because when you edit something, it looks totally different after you've taken it. Yeah. Like, and also... I mean, I think you do this too. I know I shoot, and I'm sure you shoot too, in a way where you will see what it's going to look like when it's edited, and the other person will have no idea. Yeah. So, like, you're already looking at it edited in your head.
That pertains even more to video, because you're already seeing the whole thing together, like, put in a video together with context versus, like, individual clips are way harder to understand alone. So, yeah, definitely that's a good one too. I think another one that, like, we kind of touched on this when you interviewed me, actually, but... A huge thing at the beginning of my career was me comparing myself to other artists. And that was so toxic for me personally. Like, I put myself in a really bad mindset by constantly comparing myself to every other photographer I would meet, especially people who were, like, around me, close to me, and people who had, like, years of experience over me. And it was like, I had no, like, why was I comparing myself to someone who had been doing this for 5 years and I've been doing it for 6 months? But I feel like a lot of people expect immediate success or immediate big brands to reach out, or like everyone just expects things to go really quickly, and for some people it does. I mean, like, I think that's a minority. For some people they just get lucky and it does happen really fast, but for the average person it just takes time. You just have to be patient, you have to work hard, and I kind of wanted everything to happen quick for me, and so I was like making myself be miserable because no matter what I shot I'd be like, it's not good enough, like, I'm not making enough money, I didn't get this brand, like, why isn't this celebrity reaching out to me? And it was like, girl, you've been doing this for 9 months, calm down. Like,
I think you should...
Everyone is so different, their art is so different, like, everyone's journey, how they got there, everything is so different that, like, comparing yourself is toxic.
You only see, like, 1%, maybe 2% of other people because of social media. Like, you would have to actually, like, go into that person's shoes. Like, every single person's journey is different.
Well, you also, like, don't know who they're talking to, where they're spending their time, like, how they're getting these clients. Like, some people might be getting clients in a really shady way. Some people might be doing it organically. Like, you can't compare yourself, and you can't compare your work, your art, which is, like, your passion, to someone else's. When you see the world differently, you have different experiences, you were brought up differently. Like, everything in your life has catered to you being who you are today.
Exactly.
No one else. You are your own unique individual, and so your art should be reflected in the same manner. Your art, first of all, why would you want your art to look like everyone else's?
Exactly.
That's like when everyone was shooting the little fairy lights. I was like, ick.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Everyone's shooting the same shit. It's so boring. Like, everyone wants to copy each other. I was like, there's nothing.
I was gonna say, I think it's great to take inspiration from people that you look up to, or that you just like their work. Like, oh, I like maybe how they shot this, or I like how maybe they colored this. But, like, take that and look at it as inspiration as opposed to comparing yourself, because that was a huge, like, I mean, like mind, I think that's just like a mind shift thing in general. Like if you are comparing yourself, just, I mean, it's easier said than done, but don't. And look at it as inspiration instead for ideas or thoughts or things you want to improve on, or maybe you want to do. Like I know a lot of people will see, like, again, like the travel videos. Like you could go to, we talked about this before, like you could go to Bali and make the same travel videos everybody else, but instead maybe use those and then just try to use it as inspiration to think of something totally different, like challenge yourself with that.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong, like you should be inspired by other artists. But where the line is drawn is when you start feeling envious of someone else's art and you start judging your own art.
That's when it's like super toxic.
To someone else, being like, well, they shot this sunset portrait shoot and I shot a sunset portrait shoot and oh my gosh, like they did it this way and I did it and like I wish I did it this way, and you start like this negative mindset.
Yeah.
Versus like, oh wow, they did this really beautiful shoot.
Exactly.
I saw that they used like a cool blue light. Ooh, looks cool. Maybe I'll try that.
Yeah, and then you just go get a blue light and test out your own ideas with it.
It's the way you talk to yourself.
Yes.
It's the internal dialogue. If it's toxic and negative and you're just like hating on yourself and your work,
you're never going to like your work.
Looking at other people's work and judging your own, that's where it becomes beyond inspiration and toxic.
Exactly.
So that's a big thing I wish that I had not done in my early career. It, like, literally I hated everything I was doing. I was constantly like, I was also just like really upset with where I was at and like what clients I was getting and where my career was going for a long time. And it did take me like, it took me basically 3 years to start seeing success in my career. And it was like, duh, like that's not even that long. It's 3 years.
Yeah.
Like, I was like 20. I was 18 when I started shooting. I went full time when I was 20. Like, why was I expecting to be shooting like Ariana Grande like 6 months later? You know what I mean? Like that's just not. You gotta be patient.
Yeah.
You know? It takes time to accomplish anything great, and that's okay. That's good. You want to take your time. If you're rushing, like I feel like you're gonna miss out on a lot of things.
Yeah. No, that's really good. I'm like, preach. Like, yes, Claire. Yeah, I would say that's definitely something that I struggle with. Not the comparing yourself, but the patience. Because I just get excited and I want to do so many things. And like, I look at things where I'm like, oh my God, like this client exists. Like, I want to do something like this or like this. So I'll never do the compare game, but I'll do the like impatient game, which I think I'm still working through that and learning how to be more patient. I'm way better than what I was. But I think that's a really good point too, that just trust the process. Like things take time, and trust that if you're putting your energy into that it will come back to you, and it'll come back to you in a way that'll feel so much more fulfilling than if you were to like try to cut corners and like chase something that just like, I don't know, everything happens for a reason, and there's a time and place for everything. Like just trust that.
Yeah, exactly. I like we said about it being more fulfilling in the long run, knowing that like you catered everything for yourself and you focused on yourself, and you're not gonna like create a career that's based off of like trying to get things faster.
Yeah. Because I mean, even with social media, this is just a side little tangent, but on that note, even with social media today, like there's certain things that like you could post. Okay, I'm just gonna say like there's like things that you and I could post. Like if we really wanted to like get more followers or like get more likes or do this or this, we could totally change like our brand and do that and like cater to whatever like the world is saying we should do. But I love that like I don't do that and you don't do that, and like I really love that about your personal page too, because like I'll see people literally cater to what, not the trends, like obviously you want to do trends and like sounds and stuff, but just like making them put themselves out there in a way that doesn't actually represent who they are, just to try to get like more following or a quicker fad. Whereas
putting a mask on.
Yeah, whereas if they stay true to themselves, like it might be like, I don't know, like a longer time until they get that success, but like it'll just be so much more worth it. Well,
and overall, if you're building a brand and you're building what's the word? If it's like, for example, if you have a TikTok account, let's like say this is purely social media, and you're growing a following, and so you want an audience. Your audience long term is going to stick with you for longer and be more passionate about
exactly.
you. If you're doing you, if you're unique, if you're following your own personality and your own talents and your own desires, versus like following just every trend and not ever putting your personality into it. And like, yeah, your TikTok might like be popping for 5 minutes, but then long term, no one's really like
invested.
Yeah, exactly, because it's like, oh, this girl literally does what everyone else does. There's no personality behind it.
Exactly.
Versus if you do your own thing, it might take longer for the ball to start rolling, but when it gets rolling, it doesn't stop.
Exactly.
And that's huge. I think that's a really, really good tip.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know, this wasn't like a personal mistake I've made, but just hearing friends and how they would enter the industry and approach clients, I was like, ooh, I was like, do a lot of people do that? Just like,
What would they do?
just like very aggressively when you're approaching clients, like just be super professional about it and just don't not be professional about it.
Wisdom from Georgia.
I was gonna say, if you don't understand,
not be professional. no, I know what you're saying. Like, yeah, like even just rereading an email before sending.
I was gonna say, just like don't make silly mistakes. Yeah, like don't misspell things. Like don't. I don't know. Obviously, I'm not doing a really good job at explaining this.
You know what I saw once that was actually kind of funny is that I've had people reach out trying to like be my intern, and I'm like, I don't think I need an intern. Thanks. But I've had people reach out and be like the way they would write their email about wanting to intern for me or like follow me around or whatever, the emails were so basic and so like grammatically incorrect. And they would put the word like in the sentence as if they were talking, and I was like, I don't know if I trust someone who writes like this.
Exactly.
To work with me if you can't even like put together a correct sentence.
That's what I mean.
It's not very attractive.
So just like
make an employer want
you. Yeah. So just putting yourself in the best position possible for success when approaching clients, and like even if that's just something as simple as having your friend reread your email, because maybe for whatever, I don't know, maybe you don't notice what you're doing, but it's good to ask a friend for advice so they can be like, hey, like maybe don't put like in there, or hey, maybe here's like a like spelling mistake. Just, I don't know, just approaching a client as professional as possible.
Yeah. Yeah. And also on that, not sending like a massive overwhelming email when you're first like someone, or like a huge DM with like pitching all these ideas all at once.
Yeah,
like,
it's overwhelming.
Yeah, you gotta start small and just get them interested, but you don't want to like overwhelm people because people have the attention span of a freaking carrot.
Literally.
No one is like
a carrot.
A 10-page email about like why you're the best photographer.
Yeah, people.
No one cares.
Yeah, they don't. They honestly, a lot of people in the industry just want like to the point. Like, okay, who are you? What do you want? What are you gonna give me? Yeah, literally, that's it.
Basically,
I know.
Short and sweet.
It's very like cutthroat, but.
That is kind of what I used to do over DMs as a mistake, was like I would send these really long DMs. Like, hey, like I'm interested in working with you and like collaborating on this, and I'm going here and I'm doing this thing with this model, and it would just be like a super long DM, and like they never got open. People were like, this is way too. Like there's more than like 4 sentences I'm out.
Yeah, but that's okay. Like that's something that we learn. Like I mean, I've done that too. Like I've sent way too long of DMs to even like just collaborate with a hotel in the past, and like rereading them, I'll go back and it says like 2019 like to this hotel, and I'll be like, oh wow, I DM'd them before, and I'm like, oh wow, that's embarrassing.
No, I see that
I'll like unsend it.
Yeah, I do the same thing. I'll reach out to like a brand that I've already reached out to, and I'll see my old DMs and be like, okay.
Oh, you're like, let's unsend.
Hopefully the social media manager doesn't work there anymore.
I know, literally.
I've never seen this message. Oh my gosh, I've done that so many times.
Same.
Yeah, and I guess also on top of that, not being like too formal. I feel like people think you have to be extreme, like, hello, ma'am, I am inquiring.
Yes.
I used to email super like formal like that, and now I'm like way more chill and funny with it, because I feel like people relate to that more, and like
way
you
more.
Remember that it's another human on the other side.
You just have to add like personality to however you approach yourself and pitch to clients.
Yeah, just like more chill, more human, but like in a respectful,
professional way.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be like best regards.
Yeah,
I never say like I just never type like that. You know?
Like dearest. I've had somebody.
That would be so weird to email a friend. And dearest Maria.
Dude, Jack did that one time, and I was like, "What are you doing?"
Dearest Maria, I'm inquiring to Nike LLC to inquire about whether or not our professional services would be necessary.
And he was like,
within the upcoming quarter.
Deepest sincerities.
Deepest sincerities. But also, you don't want to go like, yo, Maria, what's good?
Yeah, like
let's work together,
Shoddy.
Shoddy.
Shoddy. Dearest Shoddy. Dearest, shoot your shotties. We're peacing out. Yeah. Oh.
Their name is not Shoddy.
Oh, shooties.
That is not. Also not shooties.
Dearest, shoot your shooties. We out.
No.
I was
that
closing
is not
it.
The name of our audience.
Shooties.
No. Shooties.
Shotties.
No, even worse.
Shooties.
Shooters.
I don't like that.
Boring.
That sounds like super like scary.
What?
Like, yo, what's up, shooters? I mean, like, that sounds scary. I like shooties.
I don't like shooties.
It's like
it's stupid.
It's like our shooties are cuties.
No.
That's cute.
I don't like it.
Okay, she doesn't like it.
You guys come up with something.
Yeah.
That you want to be called.
Yeah. So that way, when I close it next, I can be like, peace out, shooties, shootays.
This is just getting worse.
I know. Okay, anyways, thank you guys for listening to this episode. We hope that this had some type of value to you. And if you do any of these, hopefully you don't do them anymore. I'm like, I don't know.
How encouraging.
I know.
Like we've all been through these things that we mentioned, and
Yeah. It's very normal if you are don't feel bad. It's very normal, especially when you're first starting out, to just literally make every mistake possible, and you're going to still make mistakes. But if you are starting out and you listen to this, hopefully this helped you not to make some anymore.
Yeah, you'll be ahead of the wave, because I still make some of these mistakes.
I still make them too.
If you're beginning and you're avoiding all of these things, you are actually successful.
I was gonna say,
quicker than me.
I was saying you are gonna bypass like 2 years of stuff.
Basically. So yeah, hopefully this helps, and we'll see you on the next episode of Shoot Your Shot. Please don't forget to rate and review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Please give us a follow, subscribe, like, comment, all the
rate, review,
YouTube.
everything. Go check out our YouTube and give some comments.
Watch our YouTube. You can watch all of our strange facial expressions, especially Georgia's.
I know. I just move around a lot.
I'm moving, and you're always like twitching, doing weird like face things, and I'm always just like touching the mic and like.
I know. I think I just like I don't know. I just like move.
A lot going on YouTube, so pretty entertaining on YouTube.
I hate watching myself on YouTube. I'm like, why are you doing that?
I don't watch it. It gives me the ick.
Oh, it doesn't?
Yeah, I don't like it. But you guys can if you want. I'm really selling the YouTube.
I know.
But yeah, generally just do anything that you would do to support a podcast that you enjoy listening to. The best way for us to grow is for you guys to share the podcast.
Yes.
So if you want to share on your Instagram story and tag us or all the things.
We'll repost.
We'll be super hyped to see that. Also, if you have any ideas for topics you would like us to cover, also
reach out, let us know. We're more than happy to do it.
And yeah, we'll see you in the next episode.
Bye, shooties. Bye.
Bye, shooters.
No. I don't like
shooties.
it. I don't like shooters. We'll discuss. We'll get back to you guys.
Shotties and shooters are all out.
Shotties. We'll get back to you on it. Okay, bye guys.
Bye.